All right. Hello, everybody. How's it going today? We're here for Take Command. We're at part 6, which is designs. So it's 1 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and get going here. Just as a reminder, we're doing this every week on Wednesdays from 1 to 2 p.m. Class every week. It's 1 hour per class, and we're doing this every quarter. And if you complete the class, then you will get a certificate. If you miss a class, don't worry about it. We are recording these, so you can go back and watch them later. However, you do have to be on the Zoom call in order to get the credit for completing the course. And if you miss a session,
I've got my
we'll,
talk now.
we'll be recording it next
Baby.
month. So um, you can, oh, there we go. You can always take whatever class you miss and still get that credit. This applies for the beach, downtown, and Seminole offices. So, and you just have to be on for 40 minutes minimum in order to get credit for that particular class. And make sure that when you log in, you use your full name so that we can keep track. So today we're going to be going into the designs feature, and I keep pulling back up this MREA model, which shows like the sales pipeline with the lead generation model, and the designs aspect. It could kind of fall into the first part, which is mainly the lead generation of prospecting and marketing. So we're going to talk today about doing designs for emails, social media posts, and different type of print designs like flyers and postcards. They also have things like the listing. They've created a listing presentation and a buyer presentation, so you can go on and create those types of things as well. So any case, I'm going to jump on over to Command here, and we're on the home page here. And if you look down to what looks like the little piece of paper with the pen, that's the designs module in Command. So we're going to go there. And so when you first open up designs, if you've never created a design before, then this area in the middle is probably just going to be blank for you. However, once you start creating designs, then you have your design templates. So for instance, if you created, say, a just listed postcard and you really like the design there, then you can continue to keep reusing that design by just clicking on it right here and going right into it to just update it, say, with the new property, photo and details and information. So this is kind of a shortcut to your design templates that you can keep reusing. If you go across the top here, you'll see, like I was talking about, you can create different designs for email. Your landing page, which really is down here in the consumer, those are your sites, which we'll be getting into in another week or two. We'll be talking about landing pages in your website. However, any landing page you create, you can access here under your design template. So if you see here, I've created a few landing pages for a couple of my different listings, as well as for a couple of neighborhoods. And we'll talk about that during the landing page and web design class on that module. Like I said, social post design. So they have all kinds of designs for Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, so on and so forth. And you can go in and modify them, or a lot of them are kind of already created for you. And it just gives you nice updated content that you can post out onto your social media. Print design, this is where you can design postcards and flyers, things like that, that you would literally print and send out. And when we get into campaigns, we'll talk a little bit more. I think campaigns is next week. We'll talk a little bit more about how you can do like postcard mailers straight out of the system. Agent site, just like the landing page, these are your pages that you create on your website. So when we get to that module on landing pages and the website, we'll get into more detail there, but this is the repository for all of the pages you design on your website. And last but not least, what they've added now is video. So now we have the capability of start creating little videos that you can send out via email or through social media. So we'll touch on all those today. So once again, when you first go on, these are templates of things that you've already created before. But if you want to create something fresh and new, you're always going to hit the plus symbol down here in the bottom right-hand corner. All right. So we click that. And so here's our options: email, social, print, video. And then this is a new feature you may or may not have seen, which is importing a PDF. So if in the past you created a flyer or a postcard or something like that, that you really like the design and look of it, you can import that as a PDF. And then the cool thing is that after you import that PDF, you have the capability of going in there and making changes just like any other design. So if, like, let's say on the top of the postcard, you had a bar that was red and you wanted to change the color to blue, it'll actually allow you to do that, change the text, swap out the photos, but at least it gives you a starting point by importing a PDF of something that you've already created in the past and you like to use again. Notice also below the 5 different design options, there's a little checkbox that says, do you want to import photos and text from a listing? So the nice thing here is that if you are going to create a flyer or a postcard for a specific listing, you can say, yeah, I'm going to import that information in and go from there. Carol just asked, could you post that PDF to a Facebook? Yeah, so once you complete an imported PDF design and resave it, it's now able to be posted onto Facebook. So yes, the answer is that an imported PDF can then be used to go onto your social media. So let's get started. Probably the most common thing that people want to make is like a just listed flyer. So we're gonna do print, and we're gonna import photos and text from a listing. So I'm gonna check off that box, and we're gonna do create a flyer. So I'm gonna click print here. Now the idea behind this is that, go ahead and hit next, is that almost any of these designs should be either ready to go or you should be able to create in 5 minutes or less. So hopefully, if you remember back in the day with eEdge, they had designs in there. You could crank out a flyer or a postcard in 5 minutes or less, and the same idea is here. So so I said I want to do a print design, and since I checked off that box that I want to import information from one of my listings, this dialog box comes up asking for me to choose a listing for my template. And I can search by the property address or the MLS number. And you can search all listings. So let's say you're going to hold an open house for another agent, right? And it's not your listing. You can still search for any address in the MLS in here and import that information. All right. So it doesn't have to be just your listings to be able to import the photos and all of the information off of the listing. All right. But in this case, I'm going to look for one of my listings. And so when I switch it from all listings to only my listings, you'll see here it comes up with a list of all of my current active listings, as well as some that actually have sold. So, you know, we can just go through here and find a particular listing that I want to import in to do my design. So in this case, let me select what would be a good example here. That's Avon Drive. All right, so I'm going to select that address. And so now we're going to go into the design studio here, and you'll see that there's all kinds of templates for us to choose from in all kinds of different categories. So we've got, it starts off with my KW app. Well, that's not applicable here. So I'm going to expand the listings. Well, there's a listing presentation, which I said we'll get into later. For sale, just listed. So let's say this is a home that I just listed, right? That's probably going to be the most common type of flyer you're going to create, is a just listed flyer. So I'm going to select that category, and you see here that there's 36 design options for just listed print media. So it starts off, now here are our options of those 36. They've got 2 door hanger designs that we can use. They've got a bifold flyer. There's 2 options there. And that's horizontal. That was vertical. Horizontal, there's a lot more. There's trifolds designs, postcards, standard postcards, or flyers and letters. All right. So I'm going to just create a just listed flyer. And you see here, we have what, about 10 different designs. So you just kind of look through and go, okay, which one do I like is the most visually appealing of my different options here? So I'll say, okay, I like the visual, you know, I think that this is pretty appealing. So I'm gonna say I want to use this as the template to design my just listed flyer. All right. So here we go. It starts off, as you can see, it's just kind of generic, 123 Spruce Road. So we're going to have to do a little bit of work, but it's pretty easy to do the work to swap everything out. So first off, we notice we got the same picture over and over again here. So I'm just going to click on the first photo, and I'm going to go over, see where it says KWLS. This is going to bring up all of the photos from my listing. All right. In addition to that, it's going to bring up all of the listing details, the address, the price, you know, square footage, beds, baths. It even has the full description. And so any of these elements we can add into the design. But in this case, we're going to start off with this photo that we selected. And here I want to have like a photo of the home. So, okay, I've got a couple options at the front of the house. I decide I want to use this house photo. So if I hit the add button and I just wanted to add an image, you see what happens. It actually just overlays the image on top of the flyer, which isn't very useful. So I'm going to delete that back out. I got to click it again, delete it out. What you want to do is when you select an element in the flyer, you want to replace the image, okay? So the little kind of recycling arrows is the button you want to click. And so now I've replaced that generic stock photo with a photo of the front of the home. Now I've got 2 more photos here that I want to replace. Well, the highlight of this home is that it has a swimming pool, and I've got a couple swimming pool photos here. So I'm going to select one of the swimming pool photos and replace that image there. And then maybe a picture of, say, the kitchen's been updated. It's pretty nice. So maybe I'll replace that 3rd image with a photo of the kitchen. All right. So real quick and easy. All right. So now we've got the text elements that we need to replace. Same thing. I can click on that text element. So where it says 123 Spruce Road. And so now I'm going to jump over from the photos to the listing details. And here's the address right here. Once again, don't hit the plus sign, hit the replace sign. And so now you can see I've replaced the address right here. Now, if I decided, okay, this doesn't, the address doesn't really stand out well, this is supposed to be a flyer, I can go in just like you would with Microsoft Word or anything else, and let's increase the point of that. We can stretch it out. We can make the letters bold. Don't really need the zip code here, so you can go in and edit the text of it, right? So I don't want to have the zip code, so I can just say 165 Avon Drive, Safety Harbor. All right. Just listed, let's see, it says 3-bed, 2-bath. Well, coincidentally enough, this is a 3-bed, 2-bath, but the square footage is actually 1263. So I'm just going to type that in. It's a lot easier to do that. And then the list price on this is 265. Once again, it's easier just to type it in. There's the price. Now there's an area here, let's see, built in. It says 2015. That isn't correct, so I want to change that. This house was built in 1970. And then we've got the area where this kind of has just, you know, some punch items about the property. So I could type something in there manually, or what I can do is, once again, go in this text box and scroll down to my description, and notice if I can, there we go. If I hover over, you can see the entire description there that we wrote that in the public remarks on the MLS. So if I want the whole description, I could go, okay, replace this, put that in there. Obviously, I'm going to need to mess around with the text box, stretch it out, but it's a little bit too wordy. So what I can do is just say, okay, you know, I want to delete part of the description. Let's see, where do I want to start? You know, just somewhere like, sometimes with the highlighting, it doesn't work too well, but you get the point. You can edit all that. Contact me for details. Now here we have this Lisa Johnson, her photo. All right. So now what we're going to do is go back over here, and we're going to swap out some of the other elements. If I can scroll back up here. And use our logos. So over here on the left-hand side, we've got logos. So instead of Keller Williams DBA name, I can either swap it out with the Keller Williams logo, drag that up. And then also I need to swap out images, and I've already uploaded to my library a photo of myself. So I want to decide which one of the photos I want to use. I'll use the one with the gray background, put that in there, change my name. Obviously, I'd put in, you know, my phone number, blah, blah, blah. All right, so let's say that we're done with this flyer, right? Make all the changes we want to make. I don't want that built in 1970 there. I'll delete that. Whatever you want to do, you can customize it however you want. And you've got up here, you can change the font, the size of the text, the fill color. You can put in bullet points, you can justify left, right, center, kind of all those things you would expect. There's all kinds of different things you can do to the text and everything else. So once we're good with it, we can, first off, you always want to rename your file up here. So I'm going to call this the 165 Avon Drive just listed flyer. And I can hit done, and it will finish it. I can download this as a PDF. So if I'm going to send this out to somebody, I can, well, I want to hit done first, just make sure it's saved. I don't want to lose anything. So here's my flyer. We're back at the beginning, my design templates. And so here it is. I'm going to bring it back up again. I just wanted to make sure it's saved and didn't miss anything. So like I said, you can download it. So if I hit that, you've got options. You can download it as a JPEG. All right. And you can change the quality of it. They've got these different thumbnail. If you wanted to have it as like a thumbnail or web, they've got different options. You can download it as a zip. Publishing settings, you may want to use things like manual bleeds and all that, but you don't really have to worry about it. So you can save it as a JPEG, save it as a PNG file, which is a different type of picture file, or you can save it as a PDF. All right. Now keep in mind, it says download and range 1-to-1. Now this is only a 1-page flyer, but let's say you're doing a postcard or something like that. You may want to download both at once, or we'll get into this in a minute. On postcards, you actually want to save the front and back as 2 different files. We'll talk about that later. Stuff about the manual bleed and all that. So if I want this as a PDF flyer that I can print off and like take to my listing and put on the kitchen counter, just, you know, click start download. Takes a second to generate. Ask me where I want to save it. I'll save it here. It's saved. And now when I double click and open it up, here we go. I've got a flyer ready to go, ready to print, right? Easy peasy, as somebody just posted. So any case, so that's how you download it, as either a JPEG or a PDF. You also have the ability, even though that this is, we said we wanted to do print media, we didn't want to do a social media thing, we could still post this as social media. So if we click the little share button here, we can say, hey, I want to share this design on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, or you can actually get a URL link, copy it, and then if you're going to post it somewhere else, you can just do the link and bam, there you go. It's actually got a web address to the thing that you just designed. All right. Cheryl just asked, how do you get rid of the line and the address? All right, so I think that was kind of just a little design thing there. Doesn't look like I can change it, but I could certainly move the address so that line doesn't go over it. So just as easy as that. All right, so pretty simple. Anybody have questions on how to design a flyer? I think it's pretty straightforward. I'm going to save that.
We got one in the chat.
All right. Let's see. When you're in designs, you click the plus button at the right. Okay, you wrote that. What other questions did I miss?
Very bottom, how do you get rid of the line and the address?
Yeah, I think I just showed that where I scooted up the address. The line, it was part of the design template. I couldn't get rid of the line, but I moved the text up so the text didn't go through the line.
Gotcha.
Hopefully that answers the question. I think Cheryl seemed like she was good with that. All right, so that was print design for a flyer. Let's go through the same exercise, but this time we're going to do print for a postcard. Once again, I checked off that I want to do it for a listing. I'm going to do it from one of my listings, and I will select Avon Drive again. But this time we're going to do a postcard. And so let's say we wanted to send out a just listed or a just sold postcard, or maybe you're going to do an open house. There's different postcards you can do there. But let's say, you know, same thing, just listed postcard. So they've got a portrait postcard that looks like this, and then they've got a standard postcard. So let's just, for the sake of making it easy, let's just do a standard just listed postcard. So same thing as before, we're going to go to our KWLS. It's going to bring in the photos. We're going to swap out the image just listed, listing details, 265,000, address. We're going to swap that out. Oh, that didn't, see what happened was I didn't click in the element, and so when I hit replace, it didn't replace it. So I'll try that again. There we go. Might want to put in on this one, Safety Harbor, FL with the the address, and I may even say, well, I want the safety harbor to look like that. So 3-bed, 2-bath. Same thing, we're going to change out the square feet, and the square footage on this is 1263, built in 1970. Oops. All right, so that's the front of the postcard, right? Now, if you notice down here in the corner, you see these two little images. One is the front of the postcard. One is going to be the back of the postcard. All right, so I'm going to swap over to the back of the postcard now. Okay, so now we want to swap out a few things. I'm going to go to my library again, change out, whoops, once again, I forgot to click on it to replace it, so created a new one. So let me click on this design element. Whoops, come on. So let's try this again. All right. So it has this DBA name. I'm gonna change the icon. I'll use my Our Home Team logo. And just keep in mind, you know, when you design these things, just like all the new rules we have, like team rules and all that, if you have your team logo, you also need to have the Keller Williams logo as well, and it needs to be same size or larger. So make sure you add that somewhere along the way here. Now notice, so I'm going to go ahead and shrink this down and put it next to my Our Home Team logo. Shrink that down a little bit more, squeeze this in. Notice that, remember, we're sending out a postcard in this situation. So if you know for any sort of postcard, you need a big blank area for them to put the address of the recipient in here. So you want to always leave the backside area open for that printing. You also, you know, the postage is going to go up here in the top right-hand corner. So you want to keep that area open as well, right? So I'm going to delete out this your name thing. I'm going to go to text now. And from the text library, notice just like with the listing, it has all of my information. So if I want to add my name, just click my name, change this, swap that out, whoops, to the Our Home Team, stretch that out. Now, the phone number and all this stuff aren't different elements, so you'd want to go in and kind of just type those things. So on and so forth. You get the idea. So now we've created the front and the back of this postcard. Looks like there was another design element that we can't really reach right there, which is the disclaimer here. Let me see if I can get that out of the way. Okay. Can move that around. I was trying to get down here to the disclaimer. Can't reach it at the moment. So in any case, you get the idea. So now same thing, just listed, 165 Avon postcard. Same thing, I can download it as a PDF. I can share it still, social media, any of those types of things. So now the difference is here, like I said, with PDF for postcards, especially if you're going to use another vendor to do the printing and sending of the postcard, you want to download the files as two separate files for the front and back. So on this, where it says download range, we want to do page 1 of 1 first, start the download. And so we're going to say just listed 160, card, and then we'll say front of card, save. Then we're going to download, but this time do page 2 of 2, start download. and we will name this back. So now if I open it up, you'll see here, here's the front of the postcard pulled up. And then here's the back of the postcard. Now notice one thing, and it's a glitch in the system, that if you have a team logo that has like a white background, there's been something funky going on where it like kind of does this reverse image. So notice how it's black. It has kind of the blue and all that. I don't know why it's doing that. Been trying to find a workaround, but apparently a lot of people, when they upload their team logo, it's kind of doing that weird sort of thing. So any case, but point is, you get the idea that for postcards, you want to upload the or download the front and back separately as two different files, right? Okay. So, and then I could jump over real quick just to kind of show you. I'll jump over to campaigns really quickly because this is so cool, and I'll show it again when we get into campaigns. But if you jump to campaigns and go to direct mail, I can create a new direct mail campaign, and you can either design one by advertising a listing, whatever, or you can use default templates provided or upload a custom template. So I'm going to name this 165 Avon Drive postcard, if I can spell. Upload a custom template is my option. And when I go to set up the campaign, set up a goal, I'm going to be advertising a listing. I still need to select that. And I can either use the defaults or upload a custom template, which is what we did. When I say set up the campaign, notice here it says upload the front of the postcard. And so here I would take the front of the postcard. Oh, that's right. You have to save it a certain height and width. So I forgot to do that when I downloaded it. So just make sure that you have the correct height and width on that. So let me jump back here to this postcard again. And so when I download it as a PDF, see, I did a standard, that's what I did. See, it says standard web quality. Since this is going to be print, I needed to download it as a high resolution print quality. Make sense? So same thing, I would download 1 of 1 for the front of the card, and then 2 of 2 for the back of the card. So I'm going to replace the front with this higher quality. And then I'm going to download, once again, high resolution, the back of the card. Replace that. And so now, if I go back to that campaign we were doing, for direct mail, I have to start over here, create a new direct mail campaign, advertising a listing, and using a custom template. When I set up the campaign, I asked to upload the front of the card. It should take it. Well, all right. Well, it's giving me trouble today. Go figure. All right. Well, you get the gist of it anyways. All right. Okay, so let me go back to designs here. So I think you guys get the gist of print on doing cards and flyers, things like that. The next thing we're going to look at is social. Once again, you can choose to either select a listing or not. I'm not going to select it this time. I'm not going to check that box. So I'm going to just hit next. So now we're looking at social. So they've created, for instance, promoting my KW app, all these different Instagram ads. Otherwise, you can do, once again, like just listed. So they're kind of preset up, templated to fit on the different social media. So if you're planning to do it on Facebook, they've got Facebook designs. They have Instagram designs, Instagram stories, LinkedIn, and Twitter. All right. And the same for anything. Like if you're doing an open house, Facebook, Instagram stories, LinkedIn, and Twitter. All right. So you have all these different designs. And it's not just, for promoting listings. It could be also to get buyers by sharing a neighborhood snap. They've got lead generation. So look at this. They have 86 different designs on promoting your websites. Or if you want to do a home value, they create holiday greetings all the time, and they're pretty timely on those things. So, you can see where they had Valentine's and New Year's and Thanksgiving, all that type of stuff. And some of them, just you can, as simple as just say, I want to use this design for Facebook. All you got to do is swap out, say, the logo with yours. And then if you want to write a little message, you could add in a text box. And we can just add like a title, something like that. So you could say, a text box, say happy spring. There's these different banners you can put in with different styles. So these are kind of cool. So you just choose kind of the design that you like and put in a banner. So if I wanted to use this, and just drag this over here and type something in. So you've got library of all of your information. So there's all kinds of things you can add in. Different icons. They have stock photos that you can add in, and you can search for all kinds of stock photos here. You can upload your own photos, and as you upload your own photos, you can build a library. All right. So holiday greetings, client testimonials, event invitations. There's just all kinds of things. Business basics. You can set up your email signature, social branding, Twitter covers. So on Twitter, you can create a cover on there. So there's just all kinds. I love KW. There's all kinds of things that you can go through. So there's a treasure trove of designs of anything that you could think of. So let's say, I want to post something on Facebook, and let's talk a little bit about neighborhood snaps. All right. So I want to do a neighborhood snapshot on Facebook about a particular neighborhood. So I'm going to use this design. And here you'll see that it has the neighborhood snap. If you're not familiar with these, basically you can put in a neighborhood and it'll pull up like the average list price, the average sale price, number of active listings, total pending, days on market for any neighborhood. All right. So I'm going to select that element and I'm going to go to KWLS again, but instead of looking for a listing where we brought in data for a specific listing before, we're going to bring in a snapshot, a neighborhood snapshot. So I'm going to just type in a neighborhood here, and it does, I can type in like say Meadowlawn, right? And there's a Meadowlawn in Ohio, Oregon, and of course we have our Meadowlawn in St. Pete. So I'll hit the little down arrow, and you'll see here that I can either put in a little vertical graphic of the stats for Meadowlawn, a horizontal graphic, or I can post a little map of that area. Well, we've got this vertical thing here. So we're going to replace, once again, use the arrows to replace. Oh, did it fill in the whole thing? Hold on. I'm going to click on that specific part, if it'll let me. This was working earlier. I tested it out, I promise. Let's try it one more time. That's not wanting to work right. Well, I can do it this way also. I can just add it and drag it over the other one. And that's the other workaround for this. Fill it in. If I have a photo of a house in Meadowlawn, I could swap it out. And then we just say house hunting in Meadowlawn. And then, of course, we want to swap out our logo here. So I'm going to go to logos and swap it out for the KW logo. I can expand that. And so now that I've created my thing, these are the actual stats for Meadowlawn. The average list price is 246. The average sell price is 217. Number of active 15. Number of pending 15. So you've got all of the stats right here for this. All right. So once you're done with it, you go, okay, real simple. We were doing a Facebook post, right? So I'm just going to say share to Facebook. I could check out stats in Meadowlawn right now. And then all I do is click share and it will post right to my Facebook page. So when I click share, it'll say, where do you want to share it? Well, this is trying to share it on my personal page. Well, I want to say I want to share it on a page I manage. So I'm going to select our home team. I've already written kind of a note, and then I can select, you can post to Facebook right here. There it goes. So now if I go over to Facebook and go to our home team, Facebook page, as it loads up here. Here we go. Check out the stats in Meadowlawn, and people can click on it, and it's got the price and all that stuff that we just designed right there. All right, I'm going to take a quick break to kind of look at questions here. Let's see, where do you print these off? Do you find the quality is good for the home printer? Is it cheaper to quality to take it to the Office Depot? So yeah, I mean, if you download a high-res quality PDF, just like with anything else, you want to use a good printer. So I'd say go to your office. If you're talking about postcards, there's a lot of companies out there that you just upload the file and they'll print the postcards and send them out for you. Renee said, you know, our office printers are great. You know, they're good laser printers. Let's see. Cheryl's asking, can you send the file to the printer to send out? No, you gotta download the file first, and then you can print it from there. All right. So just a quick example of social post. I mean, you can do these things all day long on different social posts. And then once again, my designs, when you're in here, will show all the designs you've used before. So if you like a specific design, you can click on it and keep reusing it, right? So like I did this design with Patriot Square neighborhood. So if I wanted to use the same exact design again, And let's say these numbers aren't right here, I can click on this element, do a snapshot for Patriot Square. And here's Patriot Square in St. Petersburg. And I want to use the horizontal one. You know, just hit replace, and I don't know why the stats aren't showing up there, but you can just replace it, or you can do it another way. So just saves you time when you have the templates of the things you like already. It's already got, you know, your photo on there and the logos and all that. And all you got to do is swap out like the front of the house and the address. So makes life a lot easier for those. All right, last thing I was going to show you was in designs is they have a pre-built listing presentation and buyer presentation. So under listing presentations, you'll notice that you have this one that's called Modern, that's got the black cover, and then the one that says Classic that has the white cover. These two presentations are exactly the same. The only difference are the photos and the color and style of it. The content's exactly the same. So I'm going to select the Modern one as an example here and say use. And it'll bring up this presentation. And it starts off, you have like the cover page. So if you like it how it is, great. If you want to make any sort of changes, you can. For instance, you may want to add your logo, right, or your team logo to the front page of the listing presentation, right? And do that here, all right? And so that's you know, the first page. And then we can start going through the different pages of the template. The next page is just instructions. It just says listing presentation is designed for you to customize any way that best serves you. Every section has been written and designed to highlight the intended purpose of the page. The content's meant to be customized based on your business, unique value proposition, specific market, and other factors. So feel free to delete pages or change things, whatever is relevant. So if this was going to be our final design, we go, okay, great. I'm going to select this page and say, well, I don't want this page, so you can delete that page and move on to the next one, right? So it starts off with the listing presentation. Who's it for? So you can put in your clients' names. Obviously, change out your look, you know, your face, and you know, the logo, all those things that I've showed you how to do already, right? And I keep going back to templates here. Keep scrolling through. You can change out these photos if you want. As a thing about, you know, information about that specific property. And you can just keep going through each page and designing it how you want it to look, right? And I mean, this thing is, I forget how many pages, it's like 48 pages long. So you just want to go through and decide, okay, do I want a neighborhood snapshot? Do I want to put in comparable properties? I mean, they have all of the elements there for you to swap things around for each page. So whatever you want to use, I mean, you don't want to go into a listing presentation with 50 pages, but they have these here, you know, things that describe the process. My app, your custom marketing plan, finding your buyer, plan your media. I mean, there's just all kinds of jam-packed content here. And so just decide what pages you want and don't want, and design your listing presentation from there. I'm going to go back, and now if I go under buyer, same thing. They have a buyer's presentation, same thing. They have a classic look and a modern look. Same exact content, just different sort of images and backgrounds. So I can go classic look. It's, once again, it's a 31-page presentation. So you can just pick and choose the pages you want to use. Your guide to home ownership, everything you need to know, put in your logos, talk about the buyer consultation. This is the instruction page, once again, that you'll just want to delete out. And from there, you know, there's a table of content. It goes into, now, obviously, if you're not going to have your dream home or your preferences or any of these things, then you want to delete them from your table of content. But your needs come first. Talk about the app, build your preference profile, your home wish list. I mean, the home wish list is 3 pages long. So, you know, you can just decide what you want to use and not use out of that. Like I said, it's 31 pages. So you can design an entire buyer presentation here in the designs. All right. All right. Somebody asked me to show the video options. I'll do that really quickly before we leave. Can you save the page that you want? Yes. Can you change the black solid background in some pages to save ink? Yeah, so let's go back to the listing presentation. And, you know, you've got these pages that have black, which obviously is going to use a ton of ink. And so here, let's see, template colors. Let's see if we can just change it to white. Of course, if you change this to white, then you're going to have to change all your text to black. So you got to be careful with that and the different elements, right? So you may want to change the fill color of the text to black if you're going to change the background, which I'm trying to see here. I think it's the fill color. There we go. So you just change the fill color. So you go to each one, select on it, change the fill color to white. But at that point, if you're going to use white, you might as well go with the classic look versus the modern look. Okay. But yeah, if you want the background, somebody asked about gray. Yeah, if you want the background to be gray, there you go. All right. As simple as that. Somebody was asking about how to delete the pages. And I'm trying to remember. I think you click on it or hit delete or something. I know I was able to delete the pages before. You can also, when you get done with the presentation, when you download it as a PDF, you could then change the pages that you want to download of it. But I swear those away. I did it before where you can delete a page. I don't know, Renee, if you're on here, if you've done that before, actually deleted a page. But I know I did it before. All right. Last but not least, let's go over to the videos because you guys were asking about that. And I need to get all the way back over to command and back to designs. And so this time we're going to hit the plus sign and we're going to do video. So I'll click next, video. So the only video that they have available for us right now is like a neighborhood snapshot type video. So once again, if we were going to use Meadowlawn, I would search for it, select St. Pete, hit next. Name is Meadowlawn. Now here's the cool thing about the video is it's pulling in what it thinks is the average home price per foot and all this. Now, if you run a search on MLS, say for average list price, average sale price, average price per foot, and you're coming up with a different number, you have the ability to go on here and change it. So if the average, and 270, 693, 47, that's a little bit too specific. So if you want to say the average home price is actually 280,000, you could say home prices are on the rise. The average price per foot is actually 198, and it's on the rise also. Number of homes for sale, what if there's actually 15? Average days on the market is more like 45. And then they pull from, I guess, some stats that people fill in what the neighborhood features are that are the most common. And they chose fashion, trending, travelers are here, and trendy eats. Well, if you don't like those neighborhood features, you can select whatever you want. So if you feel like travelers are here, you don't like that, you could change it to activism or artsy, civic engagement, coffee culture, daytime leisure, dog lovers, right? So if it's a neighborhood where it's not really fashion trending, but there's dog lovers, just pick 3 things that you think best describe the neighborhood, what the culture is there: hardworking, hipster, historic, hops and brews, live music. So what are the people in this neighborhood? What are the 3 attributes about people who live in this neighborhood that you would describe, right? Agent information, just make sure that this is all correct, your photo's correct. Market center, make sure your logo's correct, license number, whatever you want to put in here. Hit next. And then basically it will generate the video based on the data and content that we approved. And it takes just a little while to build up the video. And once it's done, we'll be able to see it. Okay, so the video is ready to go. I'll hit play. So there you go. So it creates that little video. And notice on the 3 elements that you selected, like activism, dog lovers, it chose the 3 sort of caricatures or cartoons that kind of went along with those. So now I've created my meadow lawn video, and you could use it in a campaign. So if you wanted to do an email campaign to email it to all of your clients in meadow lawn, you could do that. If you wanted to create a Facebook campaign, like a paid ad, and target people in that area, you could do that. Or you could, once again, share it on your social media page. So I could just say share on social media and write a little thing about, check out what is going on in meadow lawn. You can upload the video. How would you like it to post? So this is kind of cool. On any Facebook post that you design, you can either schedule the post for any time you want. Like if I want to wait until Friday at 3 p.m., then I could schedule the post to go out in the future, or I can publish it immediately. I have the options of posting it on our home team and on my Twitter link. And you can even preview what the post will look like on your post. So then I can, once I have everything ready to go, I just click schedule post and it'll be scheduled to post at, what did I say, 2 p.m. tomorrow with that video. All right, simple as that. Okay, it's 2 o'clock, and I know all of you guys that are in Bold Pivot, Coach's Corner is starting up right now, so I'm going to go ahead and end it unless you guys have any last second questions before everybody's got to jump off and go to the Bold Coaching. So any last questions? Doesn't look like. You guys are welcome. Yep. And just as a reminder here, I had this 9 basic rules for good design. We don't really have time to go into that today. Just keep it simple, rules of thirds, stuff like that. And just a reminder, we're here every week. Next week, we're doing websites and landing pages. So that's going to be a lot of content. I don't even know how I'm going to get through it in an hour. Probably should have broke that up into a 2-hour course. So we'll do the best we can on that one. So yeah, hope to see you guys next Wednesday from 1 to 2 o'clock right here. And we'll be doing websites and landing pages. Thanks, everybody.